Sharks get all of the credit, but the real ruler of the high seas is the giant squid. These colossal cephalopods are the stuff of legends, lurking deep beneath the chilly waves and never emerging to interact with the human world above. The mere fact that we don't know much about these big beasts only makes them all the more fascinating. They are one of the greatest enigmas of our seas, and one that we're unlikely to unlock anytime soon. We do have some insight into what makes these maritime mysteries tick though. Here are 14 unbelievable facts about the bashful behemoths we call giant squid. They have massive eyes. Giant squid have the biggest peepers on the planet, with each one measuring the size of a beach ball. At almost 11 inches across, the giant squid can see through miles of murky ocean with their oversized eyes. They can also see in the dark, allowing them to glide through the depths in search of prey with ease. One of the coolest and arguably most disgusting aspects of a giant squid's eyes is that they're full of water. When the giant squid dies, water actually gushes out of its eyes, deflating them like two huge plastic bags. We've only seen the cavernous remains of the giant squid's eyes because of our number 13 pick. Number 13. They have never been captured alive. No living giant squid has ever made provable contact with the human world, because all of the squiddy specimens we've snagged are dead. That's right, the giant squid is one elusive creature, and these timid titans of the sea stay far away from humankind. Perhaps someday a living giant squid will come face to face with a human, but until then, they remain the stuff of legends. Which brings us to our number 12 pick. They inspired sea serpent legends. Strange things happen out on the open ocean. Combine days of hard work and restless nights with the relentless toll of being away from loved ones, and you're bound to start believing in fairy tales. Even the saltiest mariner has nightmares on the open seas, and some even start seeing monsters. Giant squid have never made provable contact with surface dwellers, but that doesn't mean they've never broken through the top of the waves. There are plenty of people who swear they've seen sea serpents gliding just out of view, with long tentacles and giant unblinking eyes. To a delirious sailor that has never seen or heard of a giant squid, these monsters looked a lot like vicious sea serpents. Who can say that they're wrong? After all, there is undoubtedly something monstrous about giant squid, as evidenced by our next incredible fact. They have sharp suckers. Tangle with a giant squid, and you're bound to find yourself on the business end of one of their many serrated suckers. Not only will these circles of terror cling hard and not let go, but they're also serrated with hundreds of tiny razor-sharp spikes that bring the pain. Although giant squid have very few natural predators, they often find themselves going several rounds with sperm whales. Their suckers help fend off the whales and free giant squid to fight another day. Why do sperm whales prey on giant squid? We are glad you asked. They are sperm whale snacks. Sperm whales love slurping down a few giant squid between breakfast and lunch, making them one of the only creatures in the ocean that are willing to tangle with the animals. We know that sperm whales have a massive preference for giant squid because their stomachs are full of the decomposing remains. Sperm whales can seriously put a dent in giant squid populations, especially with female whales chowing down on nearly 800 squid a day. As for the giant squid themselves, they have a bit of a different diet, preferring to feast a little closer to home, as our number 9 pick illustrates. They are cannibals. Giant squid snack on fish and shrimp, crushing the unfortunate creatures to smithereens with their barbed beaks. But they aren't afraid to switch it up a little bit. By switch it up, we mean turn on their own kind. Yes, giant squids are well-known cannibals, consuming bits and pieces of their fellow creatures with zeal. The majority of giant squid specimens that have been unearthed all have some remains in their stomachs, leading scientists to question whether they turn to cannibalism out of desperation, or because they really like it. Nobody knows for sure, but our number 8 pick proves that giant squid are some of the weirdest creatures in the ocean. They have weird sex. Although we've never seen a live giant squid, let alone a pair of squid getting it on, scientists suspect that these creatures love to get freaky. Giant squid prefer to mate in a highly scientific way. Males use their organs like syringes, injecting sperm underneath the skin of the females. The lady squid tucks them away for safekeeping, pulling them out when she's ready to fertilize her eggs. It's only fitting that the strangest creatures of the 7 seas have bizarre sex, but we're here for it. They have strange body parts. If you're surprised that giant squid have strange body parts, you haven't been paying attention. After all, we're talking about animals who relish syringe sex and eat their own kind. Still, the makeup of the giant squid is bizarre enough to land it a place on our list. They have 3 hearts, 2 of them located in the gills. This is necessary from an evolutionary perspective, since giant squid need to circulate oxygen all throughout their big bodies. Their other Frankenstein organs just don't make any sense. Giant squids have donut-shaped brains, and their esophagus passes through the grey matter. These animals have to carefully chew their food so that it doesn't bulge against their precious brains and cause inflammation. Number 6. They have interesting BFFs. Giant squid and jellyfish have formed a fascinating alliance. Giant squid rely on jellyfish to light the way in the ocean's depths. In return, they eat a lot of larger fish that feast on the vulnerable jellies. You can say that it's the world's most mutually beneficial friendship between 2 of the weirdest animals on the planet. It's speculated that jellyfish even send out distress signals to giant squid, flashing bright when predators are around. Since it can't be proven or disproven, we'll just say that jellies and giants have their own way of communicating. They are 40 feet long. Giant squid don't get their name for nothing. These animals can grow to be a full 40 feet long, making them nearly the length of a school bus, and one of the largest creatures on Earth. Why so big? Giant squid differ from their shallow water cousins in that they come from the deepest parts of the ocean. Deep-sea gigantism is the wacky phenomenon that allows deep dwellers to expand to massive sizes. Not only are giant squid insanely long, but they also weigh close to a ton. We're happy that these behemoths stay far under the waves, especially since our next pick is downright nightmarish. They can regrow their tentacles. Giant squid have crazy powers of regeneration and can regrow their tentacles. Although the new tentacles aren't direct replicas of their previous ones, they're still super long and covered in plenty of serrated suckers. Giant squid aren't the only creatures in the sea that can perform this amazing magic trick. Octopuses and smaller squid can also regrow parts of their bodies. Scientists are baffled as to why and how this happens. The mad regeneration skills of the giant squid are one reason why they have so few predators out in the wild. Our next fact is another reason why so many would-be predators stay far away from the giant squid. They have spiky tongues. Giant squid have the double threat of razor-sharp beaks and spiky tongues, meaning that any unfortunate prey that gets too close is in for a world of pain. These expert hunters show no mercy, crunching up their prey with jagged beaks before grinding it to a pulp on their barbed tongues. The giant squid's tongue has a special name, the radula, and they are masterful at using it to mash up their food. Remember, the giant squid's esophagus takes an unusual detour through its donut-shaped brain, so it makes sense that they need to pulverize their prey to a paste before swallowing. Number 2. They are all one species. Considering the range of other astounding facts on our list, this might seem a little dull, but hear us out. Giant squid come from the genus Architeuthis, which is Greek for chief squid. Most genera have several species attached to them, but the giant squid gene pool is downright lonely. Most scientists agree that there is only one species of giant squid, although some detractors say that there could be a handful more. Even if there are more, the giant squid gene pool is undeniably shallow, making this deep-sea rarity even more of an enigma. They could get even larger. We puny humans have barely scratched the surface on the magnificent mystery that is the giant squid. Since life forms swell to enormous sizes at the far reaches of the ocean floor, we can only speculate that there are bigger varieties of the giant squid down below. Nobody knows what's in the most remote parts of the ocean floor. Deep-sea pressure prevents us from exploring it. Nobody has ever captured a giant squid alive, so these elusive beasts remain a mystery to us. And we've only chanced upon those who have breached the surface. Giant squid live miles below the surface of the waves, and we can only assume that when you go lower, they get larger. Those old seafaring legends of mighty monsters living on the bottom of the ocean might not be far off. After all, we know more about deep space than we do about our own sea floors. It's possible that the giant squid we've encountered are just the runty ones, and the real beasts live much further below, out of our reach. Do you think that a kraken could be lurking in the depths? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to What Lurks Below.